my formative years going into high school, I don't have memories of really being downtown, of being in a community that took care of its place. When I returned to a community that was starting to call attention to 30 years of disinvestment and a handful of citizens who were trying to determine how to resolve and fix that. We started talking to neighbors to see if they were interested in a joint project, maybe thinking we were going to do a half block at a time. That's when Eric and Pago USA re-entered the picture, and Eric pitched a different perspective. Is instead of doing it your downtown in one-off bits and pieces, would you consider doing your downtown all in one big chunk?
What we discovered as we began to do an analysis is that there's 100 buildings that are historic in this town, and that 80% of them were falling down. And that put a sense of urgency with the community. And so within just a few weeks, they hired us, and within 7 weeks, they put $3.5 million in a fund that allowed us to go out and acquire buildings, and we acquired 52 buildings in 18 months and set the stage for what's happening today. Mind you, at this point, there is no prototype. There is no other community that we've done this in. So, Van Wert had a lot of leadership and faith that we could accomplish this goal. So we help with the acquisition process. Then we have our partners that help us with the tax credit side. That's what Model Group are experts in.
The idea of the ingredients, the community, the foundation, the built environment, the historic Main Street, the assets that they could build on, excited me, and could see this as an opportunity to create a model that other small towns could look to and emulate and see a future of kind of self-determination and say, hey, they did that there, we can do that here. So yeah, I was here a handful of times just early on, kind of visioning, helping the leadership here think about what could happen and how to go about doing it, and really predominantly refining that vision into action steps.
So Jason, just big picture, phase one from time of acquisition to put the deal together took about 3 years to complete.
Yep.
And then phase two will take about 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And that will mean that we restored approximately 18 to 20 buildings in 4 years.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't use the term easy, but phase 2, 3, 4, 5, build off of what you've created, and you roll the rock up the hill, and at some point you start to actually gain momentum.
Hi, my name is Jenna Daly, and I'm the owner of J Collection Bridal. When I first moved to Van Wert, the bridal shop was actually downtown on the corner, and we started the process with the foundation of finding a location that fit our needs where we could really grow and develop. And I kind of knew right away when we walked through this space that this is where I wanted to end up. I tell people all the time that this space is just as much Van Wert's as it is mine. So I think every decision I made in this process, I had at the center that it's not just about me. It's not just about J Collection Bridal. This is about Van Wert as a whole. And I want Van Wert to grow, and that's not going to happen if I make it all about me.
There is at least a third of your population that live in towns of 10 to 20,000 people. If we don't do this, then these historic buildings begin to literally crumble into the streets. In fact, in Van Wert, we had a building crumble into the street in the middle of the night. It would have killed somebody had they been walking by. Fortunately, nobody. It was in the middle of the night on a Sunday.
Van Wert officials tell us that although this major collapse happened this weekend, they feared this for a long time coming.
It was not salvageable. It could not be saved, and so it ended up having to be demolished largely for safety reasons.
What you're seeing when you look at the construction of this is you're seeing how we are converting a building that's falling down into a building that will last 100 plus years.
The needs of the community are going to look different 3, 5, 7 years from now. And we're going to be sitting on property then to say, okay, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, now we need this, now we need that.
Understand that it's going to take a lot of sweat. It's going to take a lot of capital. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take tears. It's going to take a lot of conversations. But again, at the end of the day, if you don't do it, who else will?